Do you think people out there in Orange, the ordinary ratepayers and residents, do you think they really appreciate what the whole roads issue is really all about?
The roads issue, particularly for the City of Orange, is a very complex issue. We had 2 years ago unprecedented rain, whilst it filled our water supplies, and we're all thankful for the downpour. It caused incredible damage to our roads. The other problem I think that we have had in the City of Orange is over the years we've probably used methods that probably haven't proved to be long lasting, and we've had to look at the methods that we use. And of course, like anything, if you need to secure a job to be long lasting and high quality, what you must do is it costs a lot of money. It's a difficult issue. I think people need to realise that we've got limited budgets. We've got a budget of 110 million in Orange, but that's to run the entire city right across the board. That's your community services, that's your capital works program, everything. And roads, whilst I would love to see a lot more money go into the roads budget, we have to juggle all the other priorities of council too. We also need to think outside the square and think of other practices such as hot mixing a lot of roads. But that is very, very expensive, and it does take a lot of our resources. I think the way that people need to look at council's priority for roads is the same as a household budget. Maybe people would like a new lounge suite or a new car or an extension on the home, but of course the priority is feeding the family, paying the electricity, paying the mortgage, paying the gas, those things that we need for basic needs of life. We have to pay those first, and that's the same with council. We've got to look at all the other priorities that we have and allocate as much as we possibly can towards roads. But certainly I'd like to see an increase, and I think that we can look at other options where we can cut things, programs, but we need to do that with it being in our minds that we need to prioritise what we need to do, and it's expensive. Boy, we could spend probably tens of millions of dollars right across the city at the moment. You know, you've only got to look at the condition of William Street, for instance. I mean, it needs a major rebuild. It has to be dug up, it has to be completely relaid. That's just one example. I know we've had the heavy traffic on William Street, but that's an example of the type of jobs that are needed right across the city. A lot of our roads haven't had major rehabilitation work for many years. I'm a great supporter of trying to put in place as many hot mix roads as we possibly can. We've got a false economy out there at the moment. We repair roads, first downpour we see potholes appear. At least with hot mix, we tend to get a lifespan of at least 10 years. It's very expensive. It's a lot more expensive than the traditional spray method of doing roads, but I believe overall we'll get better value for our dollar. But like I said, it's expensive, and what we need to roll it out strategically so it's affordable, but we need to prioritise it to say that the number of streets need to be done per year. That way at least we can see some light at the end of the tunnel, where in 10 or 20 years time we'll see a large number of streets in Orange hot mixed, and we'll start seeing major improvements on the quality, the ride, and the durability of our roads right across the city.
It's going to take 10 to 20 years, you say? That long?
In order to roll out a hot mix program, I think to cover most of the major streets around the city, yes, because it's extremely expensive. But what we can do, a council has the right to prioritise any project. I'd like to see a significant increase in the roads budget so that we maybe can roll out more streets than we're currently proposing. I put forward the motion that we roll out a strategic plan for hot mixing. This year we had to do it within the restraints of our current budget, but next year's a different story. If I'm back on council, I'd like to see us devote a lot more funds towards that hot mix program.
Where are you going to get the funds?
We can't do it all on our own. State and federal government have to come in, and they have to support local government as far as road reconstruction is concerned, not just maintenance but reconstruction. We're not the only council that has problems with our roads, but we have a large road network, and a lot of it needs to be completely replaced. That will take tens and tens of millions of dollars. We can't do that on our own. The state government have to step up to the mark and recognise that streets in residential areas are just as important as the highways, and they need to make significant contributions towards road funding.
If after this coming election the councillors were to unite and get together in a big push on the whole subject of roads, what would you suggest they do?
Gee, I'd love to see a consensus where all councillors agree, and all councillors agree that it should be a priority for us, a back to basics approach. Look, it will require a full consensus of council to get those funds. What we'll need to do is lobby state, federal governments, put our case forward. We need to think outside the square. We need to lobby and tell them that we're doing things differently. We're working towards the future. This is not just a road maintenance project. This is an investment in the future of the quality of our streets and roads in the City of Orange. So yeah, we'll need every councillor to support us. I think we need to take a back to basics approach. Footpaths are another very important issue in the city. So many areas of Orange, people are forced to walk on the roads because there are no footpaths. I'm talking about traditional old parts of the city where there are no footpaths or there are inadequate footpaths. It's no longer acceptable that when you find a footpath, if someone takes a fall, just to put a yellow mark on it and mark it on your maintenance program. Some of those footpaths need to be dug up and they need to be redone. That takes a lot of money.